Welcome everyone to Fantasy HQ. This is Red, this is Mitch, I am Alex, and we are the NRL Fantasy Gurus. Well, everybody, we've had some massive news just come out from Team List Tuesday, and I think we're just going to get right into it today because it's going to be an absolute game changer. Mitch, we'll throw it to you. What's the big news coming out today?
Dragons have actually reshuffled their spine. So they've moved Corey Norman from 5'8", the fullback, bringing a cash cow half.
Nobody cares about that.
Oh, that was a big
That
news.
was not the big news.
If it was George
Anything
Clooney
else?
going in,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Maybe you should check your notes. Oh my god, he didn't write anything.
Now, of course, we're talking about Jason Taumalolo. Big JT. Bit of bone bruising. Hard to say. I'm saying maybe 1-2 weeks. For me, it's a sell, but...
Well, we'll break it down this way. It's the biggest news of the week. Basically because I think 44% of people are in him. And he's probably most of your captain options. So now, do you sell him 2 weeks, you bring in another captain option like Payne Haas, and sort of just cop that loss now, or do you wait? I think it's a lot of money to leave on the bench.
Yeah, I'm not leaving that on the bench. That's nearly $1 million hairs.
Yeah.
I'm biting the bullet and I will bring in Payne Haas in place of Mr. Taumalolo. So, yeah, you got rocks in your head if you don't.
Well, it could be a week, but...
It's tough because, it is a trade to burn. We know how precious they are. But it is a lot of money. Like, potentially some people could be holding David Fafita, Payne Haas. That's 1.6 million. You've just got sitting on the bench doing nothing for you. So
Not making any money, not earning you any points. I'm biting the bullet. I'm selling, even though I brought him in last week. It hurts.
Oh, you
but
fool!
you got to do what you got to do. Traded out Cook for him too. I don't want to talk about it.
I did the exact same thing.
But Mitch, I know you already brought up the huge Dragons news. Is there anything else on the news wire?
No, that's pretty much it. Actually, Titans do have a bit of a cash cow hooker. Obviously, Harry Grant went gangbusters. So there's a cash cow hooker. There's another potential one. Clarky. Did not write his name down. Too caught up in the Jason Taumalolo news and reshuffling my whole team. Sorry.
Well, it was big news just based on the fact you don't have Mitch Rainey, you don't have Nathan Peets on the extended bench. So there's no chances of them coming in and taking that spot. I think it's a great purchase whenever you have a cash cow hooker at 240 starting. I think you pretty much have to bring him in.
As well as that,
No?
he is DPP. So
Yes.
potentially, if he hits the ground, I think Holbrook at the moment, he's waiting for something to grab there. He's tried Rain, he's tried Peets. Neither of them are under 21. I think if this guy can, make a real fist of it, potentially could be a long-term cash cow hooker there.
I think he's trying to go with the new speed of the game, having a guy like that on the field. But I don't know. I think you need a workhorse like Pete's there in their particular situation. And he's unproven. We knew what Harry Grant was. That's a bit of a different story. When you're the guy who's going to take over for Cameron Smith one day, you kind of have a bit of a reputation. Erin Clark hasn't really done too much of fantasy relevance to us. To get a buy from me anyway.
We don't know much about him, and with a break-even of 17, you can probably risk waiting 1 week and seeing what their bench is going to be like next week as well. They do have a half on their bench that could come on and take some minutes from him too. So something to worry about. But yes, I think that is big news whenever there is a cash cow hooker, just like last week for all you people who brought in Harry Grant. What a ripper of a game that was. Unbelievable.
He went to the school of Cameron Smith tackling. There was a tackle complete. Put a hand on,
1 point. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic. Sometimes you put 2 hands.
So there's the biggest news of the week, and as Red mentioned before, great segue into the speed of the game now. It has completely changed the game
How
and
good
how
has
it's
it been,
played.
though? I really enjoyed watching that week of football.
Every single game was actually a complete joy to watch. Now, when you got 20 people getting over 70 points, it drastically changes fantasy football.
It sure does.
20 people got over 70 points last week. So a lot of big scores out there for fantasy teams. What do we take away from this? I think we're going to come up with a new segment.
Yeah, the game changes.
The game changes. I love it.
The rules have changed, and now the points will change with it. Who knows? 70 could be the new norm. Certain players could be expecting to do that every single week. For example, your Payne Haases. Those are the kind of guys who you just expect to get, 60, 80, somewhere in there. And a guy who got 190 metres, 49 tackles, plays 80 minutes, 85 points. Those are your kind of guys you need a new speed of the game, man. Props who play 80 minutes, oh my lord. If they weren't rare before, they're even rarer now.
Yeah, there's not many of them out there either.
Payne Haas is an absolute game changer. We already knew how good he was, but I think this speed of the game is even helping even more.
He really cemented why he's the most expensive man in the game last week. So.
49 tackles, meters, offloads, tackle bust. Couldn't get a better overall performance. Do we have other game changers who we think are going to improve with this new rules?
I actually, after watching the Eagles Broncos game last week and seeing how quick that was played, I was a bit skeptical when you guys said you were trading out Cook. Because I thought
He did message us.
Finally the game has come back to Cook now. Their forward pack isn't what it used to be. He's not getting the quick play balls to play on the back of. But his average for the first 2 games was 1 break tackle. He had 6.
Yeah.
His average was 50 run meters. He was just under 100. Like he's ducking and weaving.
Yeah.
He's still getting his 50 tackles a game, but now you're getting those offensive stats back.
Yeah, he absolutely made the most of the rule changes. Completely burned me in hindsight, but yes, he's another one that you really need to look into bringing in. And now that you have that Tamalolo money, very easily done.
Yeah, I think, I regretted trading him out. I couldn't, as soon as Mitch messaged me, I couldn't reverse it because I'd made Tamalolo captain and that was the trade, so I couldn't touch it.
Really
So
stings
I
it
was
then, doesn't it?
look, it stung me just as bad as Shibasaki did that piece of crap.
Anyways, let's not go down
moving on.
Shibazaki disappointing absolutely everyone.
Let's be honest, he is not the only gun hooker that benefited from this.
That's right. Cameron Mcginnis. We all knew who he was at the start of the season. We all wanted him so bad.
Injury happened.
Yeah, look,
we had to wait.
He was injured. He was killing it at the back end of last year.
He was my captain last year, even with us.
That man, hooker who plays 80 minutes, seemingly getting rarer and rarer, and probably even more rarer with the new speed of the game. So Isaac Luke is on the bench. The talk was that he's going to go to lock anyway. Playing 80 minutes, got 75 tackles. Fun little stat, didn't miss any.
Unbelievable.
That
is
is
just unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
That means you know what you're getting week in, week out. You are getting those sorts of scores. I am worried a bit about Luke being on the bench, Carl, but
Bit of an unknown. But as well as that, with Mcginnis, he's actually quite fit as well. He does get out. He does take the line on. He's not just a Cameron Smith, pick it up and dump it kind of guy.
shots fired at Storm.
Oh, Cameron Smith left his legs in 2006. I don't think he runs anymore. But no, like he will take the line on. He still will get a couple break tackles, offloads, and those kind of offensive stats that are so important.
Yeah. Just on the lock situation, they had James Graham at lock. He played like 30 minutes of the game. So they're clearly just waiting for Isaac Luke to come back. I think Luke will just be there for the middle of the game for the tied forwards, and then Mcginnis will be in there. Just
Be
as
that
manager.
Brendan Smith type mould, maybe a lot.
Yeah.
Could be an absolute impact off the bench player.
Yeah, and the way they were set up, they got pumped, and he still got that many tackles going through the middle. Yeah, they scored on the edges quite frequently. So, who knows, could be even more next week.
I am very interested to see though.
One team that didn't score on the edges at all, the Dragons. Now, another gun you can bring in, obviously, with these rule changes is making an absolute difference. And with that Tamalolo money, one Jimmy Tedesco. Absolute barnstorm of a game. Break tackling best. Over 300 metres. What else did he do that game?
14 tackle busts.
14 tackle busts.
300 run meters.
Unbelievable.
314 if we want to be specific.
I don't.
Yeah. So if you're looking for an upgrade in that wing fullback position, he's the one you absolutely have to look up again, and you'll pretty much stay that price for the rest of the year.
I think to be honest, there's going to be a lot of fullbacks now that the game really comes to, like Tedesco's. The ones who are excellent at support Tedesco's, your Tommy T's, Sheks, Pongas, these great guys that support him, they're really going to benefit from this open game now.
Yeah.
It's opened it up now. It's added a bit of attrition to it.
Absolutely, Tavasashek, another wing fullback you got to look at who could make an impact. 50 points, pretty much just based on run meters and a few tackle busts.
Well, even the wings, right? So Josh Mansell and Brian Tolo had huge meters. So I think the difference is now with the game speed so high and there's so much intensity to it, even your wingers are going to get huge run meters just bringing the ball back now because the forwards are harder to get down there. So there's an extra 5-10 meters on offer for all the big kicks. You do that 5-6 times over a game, it's another 3, 4, 5 points just from that one thing. Let alone they come in and take those middle runs when the kick's done as well. Like there's just a lot of opportunity for the fast men of the game to really make a huge impact.
Well, we've just touched on the obvious guns here, and you guys are probably saying, tell us something we don't freaking know. So, is there anyone else that stood out that you think is worth a mention here?
I think these guys
that
should
is
do it
an obvious.
themselves. Obviously, someone I mentioned last week as a buy. He played 80 minutes last week, Alex Twell. His average for the year is just a tick under 63 points. We know what his work rate's like. Big run meters every week, big tackle counts. He usually gets 1 or 2 tackle breaks and offload. So
his meters gained over 80 minutes increased hugely this week, and I think now that we've seen the bench for this week again, we know he's going to play 80 again. I'm pretty sure of that. He's a great bring-in at prop.
Yeah, well, they've still got Billy Walters on the bench. So
Billy
that just
Walters on the
adds to
bench.
his minutes, right?
Yeah,
So because
exactly.
Billy Walters isn't taking Alex 12 off, so that's just only added minutes. Even if he does play the 70s, he was still getting the 60 points in the 70-minute games anyway.
So you nailed that buy last week. Another one who nailed their buy last week was me. I picked Yo, and he did deliver. What a bloody game he had. 62 tackles, 220 run meters. It was 85 points. Unbelievable. Great game. So I think I'll just stick with him this week as an obvious pick, as who's benefiting from these rule changes. He had an engine for days at the end of the game as well. So another one who really benefit.
Yeah, I think a lot of Panthers players got a lot of points. There wasn't too many that fell short of the 40 mark. So
I wouldn't be surprised if 10 of those 70-plus players came from the Panthers Knights game.
Yeah,
Knights had
that's
about
huge.
5 or 6 in there as well.
Yeah,
huge.
Great grinding game.
Yeah.
Any stood out to you, Red?
Well, I said RTS and you stole it, so
Yeah, you pretty much listed all the stats, but that's fine.
I even had it written here, and I think you looked at my book so you could see the James Tedesco stats, and then he just copied the RTS one. So that's cool. Whatever he said, I'll go with that.
So RTS. Good bring it.
Well, off the top of your head though, who's someone else you went with RTS, but another option in terms pretty much grabbed you.
All right, Kalen Ponga. He's obvious, but there's so many different players. I'm looking at guys like Fodawaker from the Gold Coast Titans. I did say last week don't trust a Titans player, but he, even when he came off the bench, had a pretty decent score. Back into last year, he was stealing huge minutes. He's got a motor for days. Those are the guys you want. They're your PPMs, points per minute guys. Forwards who are getting points per minutes with hookers on the bench, there you bring it.
Golden.
And he's around that mid-range price too, so it's a
For
great...
$5.96 from memory.
Fantastic. So
Not being specific.
very fit prop. So that's that. That's the what do we call it?
Game changers.
Game changers. There we go.
You're on the ball today.
Game changers. Stealing your picks.
The hostess with the mostest.
You better believe it. So, talking about that, we got some questions. I'm going to call this segment Instafam, which has probably been stolen many times on shows like this.
Instagram. I'm pretty sure they use it frequently on that particular app.
Well,
I'm not
calling you
familiar
Instafam
with
because
that.
you are family, you guys. You stuck it out with us. Bonding, warmth. You give it to me. But they have been asking some questions, and I thought I'd run them by you.
Alright,
just because a lot of people have been asking these ones.
I'll make sure I don't
Get
delete your notes,
thoughts.
though.
Thank you.
I'm
I
gonna shut
appreciate
my
that.
book.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, a lot of people were talking about Katoa. Is he worth bringing in because he was on the bench last week? It was a late game change that people didn't bring him in. I know you two were burned by it because you already used up your trades. You
Shut
could.
up.
But is it too late for Katoa?
No.
Minus 18 break even?
No.
No, 408,000. This is probably the last week
Yeah.
that he's still a cash cow.
Yeah.
After that, he just becomes one of your mid-range fellas.
As well as that, I think he's one of those ones where he starts off as a cash cow, but he's got real potential. And it killed me watching him last week because I was umming and ahhing, Katoa, Hapawadi. Of course I chose wrong. But just watching him last week, he wanted to take runs, he wanted to break tackles, he didn't miss tackles.
He went off a HIA, came
Yeah.
back and still scored over 60 points.
Yeah,
You get a try.
he was probably good for 40 points for minus 18 break even. You're probably straight away making 60, 70 grand.
Yeah, and with Origin and all that sort of stuff, we're going to harp on it almost every week. But if you can make some money now, I think until about round 8, make as much money as you can, and then it's just guns.
As many as you can.
Some of these guys end up developing into guns. Who remembers John Bateman?
Yeah,
Mitchell.
absolutely.
These are the guys who sometimes can become guns. John Bateman's one of the
Pete Haas.
the second highest.
Yeah, Payne Haas last
second
year.
rower? Yeah. second
bottom dollar.
That's right. These are the guys who just all of a sudden become fantasy relevant, fantasy gods.
How's that song go? Started from the bottom, now we're here.
We don't know in 2 weeks. I think Jazz Tabaga's back. That could change things, but I think still you bring him in now. You make your money because he's going to make lots. Minus 18 break even. He's absolutely huge. Now another one people have been ringing up is Wolves as a sell right now.
Yep.
He's got a 10 break even.
Well, he got 20 minutes, got 25 points, which included a try assist.
Look, I'd still think it's not a rush out and sell because I still think he will make you money. It just won't be much money.
Yeah.
Barring some kind of injury or something happening where he gets extended minutes. He still probably has one, maybe two more price rises in him, but they won't be big.
I think one maximum, and then you've got to get him out. Otherwise, it'll just slowly drip away.
For me, he's definitely out this week. I can't justify it.
People have been bringing up Lomax just on a side note as a sell, and honestly, I've been watching him. He's not doing much. Dragons aren't doing much as a whole, but he's still scoring well. And in the position of centre, you take the 40 points he's offering.
40 points and you didn't score a try. You keep that.
No kicking goals, which he usually does. So yeah, don't suggest it. Don't let it into your brain. Keep him. He's still making money. Bradman Best. What do we think of him? 2 tries. He's got a low break even. He's going to make some money still.
I think he will make money.
DPP.
Obviously, he's not going to score 2 tries every week, but he will make you some money. And centre is a trouble position, so I guess if you can put someone there to make you money, to potentially bring in a Latrell or an Essan Masters, who seems to be scoring quite consistent without scoring tries.
If we are going to talk about centres, here's one that everybody's bringing up to me, and I hate talking about it because I don't know what to say. But I'll ask your opinion. Kurt Capewell. Cody King on YouTube asked me this one as well, so thank you for last week's episode. You suggested, do you bring in Capewell?
We've had this is again a soap opera. It's the same shit every year. What did he do last year? He was killing it, and then he missed 20 tackles in a game. Not quite 20, I think it was 12. But he missed too many tackles. If you miss 10 tackles, that's minus 20 points, and I'm pretty sure he surpassed that. So, at a game where no one could really break a tackle, but people were making a shitload of meters, that sounds about right. Against a much better centre or second rower or halfback, can't imagine he's going to be sticking those tackles every week.
Well, he's not be scoring those points every week, but...
I will say this about him, though. His break-even this week is 2, so he will make money.
So if you do risk it, you're not really risking anything. You still will make money from him, but I'd say he's going to average about 30 points for the season. Is that worth spending close to 500,000 on in that position?
Personally,
that's up to you.
If I had to choose between Bradman Best and Capewell, I'm going to go Bradman Best. He's cheaper, he's got a lower break even, and I think he's got more price rises in him.
Once Caleb Ponga comes back, I think Bradman Best will also improve. And with Edric Lee outside of you, you're surrounded by guns. Now, a big one here, and you brushed on it last week with a hold, and we were unsure. And I'm sorry to bring it up, it was a tough call last week, but I think this has cemented it. What do we think of Liam Knight? 33 minutes last week. I couldn't believe he got 33 minutes.
I've got to ask you a question though. Are you sorry to bring this up? Or are you excited? You were dancing and giggling around all day about this.
I hate to see a fellow guru do badly.
I have to do a public apology to everybody. I send out my deepest condolences to those affected. And I feel like what I've brought upon you is it's unforgiving. It's at a time in the world where everybody's struggling, things are happening, and I put this shit on you. I apologise. Liam Knight,
I could not have expected. Now, if you want to talk about diamonds from before, game changes, the ones that are benefiting from these rule changes, I think you could certainly go the other way with Knight. He's really suffered 33 minutes.
I don't think that's fair on the new game because Liam Knight stunk before they changed the rules.
We all brought him in. We all liked him at the start.
Yeah, I know. Then I dropped him last week.
So I think it was a bit of a shock, but I think you absolutely have to sell him this week if you have him. With those minutes, he will never make you any more money. He'll never score you anything more than,
get rid of him now.
Get rid of him now. For the love
Trade in Fodawaker for
the
him.
love of God. Any other side notes you guys want to drop by?
Well, I probably shouldn't, and we were debating this earlier about how well Tamalolo did, how well Cameron Smith did, but these seem to be some fellas who the game didn't favour. Liam Knight was one of them. They did score well still, but there was a bit of a hot debate between us as to, is JT and Cameron Smith the keepers? Cameron Smith didn't have the chance to get in the referee's ear as he likes to. He didn't have the chance to slow the play down. Melbourne didn't have the chance to slow down the game. Didn't get to play their style of game.
And how entertaining was the game to watch when Melbourne weren't ruining it?
Didn't expect the conversation to go that way, did you?
Of course I did. You guys are dicks. But I think these are guys that, I'm not saying get rid of them now, but you got to start considering, you got to start watching them a bit more closely. Their points could drop if they don't have the same fitness that they used to. JT's still a fit fella, but he was blowing hard out there. He looked like a pug after a 2-minute walk. Like he was all over the place. Clip that boy's palate and get out of there.
Went from averaging over 70 minutes the first 2 rounds to 60 in the round 3 because of the rule changes. So I don't know if that's an ongoing theme, but it's something to certainly look out for fantasy-wise.
It also might have something to do with why he's not there this week, though. So that's something to consider. But he still put up 68 points, and we've always said if your players get over 60 points, it's a pretty good game. So
with the new game, 20 people over 70 is 60 good enough.
Something to look for.
The
bar might be moving.
Yeah, the bar could be shifting hard.
We'll wrap it up there, guys. That's week 3 wrapped up, heading into week 4. Exciting times. Thank you for having us again. Thank you for watching. Mitch, what can they do?
As always, guys, like, subscribe, comment, keep the feedback coming. Especially if one of these guys bombs, let them know about it.
And because of these segments like InstaFam, we'd love to take your questions, put them on the show, and talk about them openly. So just keep hitting me with those questions. I'm usually the one answering them. These guys occasionally.
I don't think I've answered one this year.
So it's all me.
Which is probably a good thing, because if I tell you to keep Liam Knight again,
So you're in safe hands. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next week.
Oh, cheers.
Subscribe.